She said it while stirring her imported espresso, barely glancing in my direction. The help eats in the kitchen. It wasn't meant for the caterers. Her eyes flicked, just once, barely perceptible, toward the chair I had pulled out beside her. A curated insult. Polished. Subtle. I smiled. Rose without a word. Slid my phone from my pocket, as if checking an email. My voice was soft, calculated to sound like an afterthought. Cancel the Atlas acquisition. Full halt. Effective immediately. And just like that, silence. It was a kind of silence that falls when a glass slips from a table and doesn't shatter, just spins on its edge while everyone holds their breath. She looked up, blinked once. Her lips parted, but no sound followed. My brother, seated across from her, went pale. His jaw tensed. His hand twitched toward the expensive watch I had given him when he made partner. His wife didn't even look at him. She didn't need to. That was my signal. She didn't know. He hadn't told her I owned Atlas. Hadn't told her I owned him. 3 months ago. His voice cracked on a voicemail I was never meant to hear. He thought he'd hung up. I heard the rustling first. A low moan. Then her voice. We shouldn't not hear. Just 6 words. A pinprick. I tried to dismiss it. Maybe it was a scene from a movie. Maybe I misheard. Maybe. But my gut is a scalpel. It recognizes patterns faster than memory does. And it remembered her voice. The smooth, weary cadence of a woman who always sounded just a little bored, even while undressing you. Especially then. Claire, she married my brother 6 years ago. I paid for the wedding. He asked me to, said his startup was bleeding cash, and Claire had dreams. She always had dreams. That day, I watched her more closely than I let on. She smiled at him for the cameras, but she grinned at me with teeth. I convinced myself it meant nothing. Until the voicemail. Until the second message. A text meant for him, that came to me. You forgot your cufflinks again. Good thing I like you messy. Kiss mark. No name. Just a red lipstick emoji. Claire doesn't wear red lipstick, unless she's lying. I didn't confront him. Not yet. You don't knock over a chessboard when you've just begun placing your pieces. I called his office. Asked about his travel dates. I already knew them. I just wanted to see if they aligned with hers. They did. Every time. When I brought up Milan, the same week as the annual conference, he shrugged. Said it was a coincidence. Said Claire just loved Fashion Week. Apparently. So did his assistant. I hired someone, not a private investigator. Too obvious. I picked someone quieter. Someone who owed me. Someone who understood what silence was worth. They followed. They watched. They documented. I opened a manila envelope like a surgeon opening a body. Steady hands. No emotion. My brother. Claire. Holding hands outside the penthouse I bought for him. The same penthouse Claire once called too clean to feel lived in. Now I understood. She was a stain. I waited for the right moment. Atlas was his obsession. He said it would make us billionaires. He didn't know I was already the largest shareholder. Quietly, through a shell trust. Didn't know I had been approached first. That I had passed the lead to him deliberately. I wanted to see what he would do when handed power. Now I knew. He brought her to the dinner meeting. Claire kissed his cheek when I arrived. Wore red lipstick and a dress I had bought once for someone else. She talked too much. Laughed too loudly. Watched me too often. After dessert, I placed the envelope beside her wine glass. She froze. Not dramatically, just enough to notice. She opened it slowly, touched the edges of each photograph like she was checking for sharpness. He reached for it. She pulled it away. Read them all. Every picture, every betrayal. I didn't speak. I sipped my scotch. She looked up. Her smile didn't fade. It crystallized. Cold. Unapologetic. But I had already gone colder. Then, like a final flick of the blade, she said it. The help eats in the kitchen. Like I wasn't blood. Like I hadn't watched them construct their affair on top of my silence. Like I hadn't already won. So I made the call. Cancel the Atlas acquisition. A simple sentence. Surgical. Merciless. Investors would scream. the board would lose their minds. But power isn't about noise. It's about control. My brother's eyes met mine, panicked, searching, like a man realizing the floor beneath him was never real. "Why?" he asked, voice cracking. "Horse," I replied and shrugged. Claire's hand slipped from his arm, slow and deliberate, like she had touched something she no longer wanted to claim. She wasn't hurt. She was calculating. But I had beat her to the knife. "You don't own Atlas," she said. "No," I replied. "I do." They sat there, frozen, a relationship built on whispers, torn apart by silence. I straightened my cufflinks. He tried to speak. I didn't let him. Some wounds aren't meant to be wrapped. Some betrayals don't deserve resolution. Claire looked at me as if there was still time, as if this was still a game she could play her way out of. But it wasn't. I turned, walked toward the door, paused for a moment, said nothing. I didn't have to. I had already taken everything they had hidden behind and left them with the only thing they ever gave me. Nothing. The help doesn't eat in the kitchen. The help owns the house.